Here's a question for you. Do you ever feel like life is just slapping you in the face and you're just going through the motions trying to work out what to do and why you're even doing what you're doing? Well, in today's video, I want to dive deep into the transformative power of self-reflection and how it's essential for clarity and growth. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you don't know who I am already, my name is Michael Tabirade, an independent management consultant and founder of the consultancy, The Mastery Group. Now let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is understanding self-reflection. Now, really and truly, when we think about self-reflection, it's the ability to be introspective. Okay, so it's the process of looking at and analyzing your thoughts and emotions and actions. And so you're outside looking in, just basically effectively evaluating, what does this all mean? How do I understand this stuff? So it's stepping back and observing life. Okay. So it's not some casual thing that you're doing where, you're just kind of like randomly reflecting like, I wonder what I'm going to do today. I mean, it may be onset by that stuff, but this is more intentional. This is more systematic and purposeful by nature. And so when it comes to self-reflection, for me personally, I like to ask these questions. What has went well? What has not gone so well? And what do I want to do about it? It's that simple. It's that simple. Because that helps me answer other questions that I want to ask. You could ask, why are you doing what you're doing and all that kind of stuff there. Those are bigger questions. But maybe you want to ask yourself, what is it that I truly want to do? Am I doing that very thing? And what do you need to have, feel, or do in order for you to know that it's the right thing? And this is where it comes down to values. You have to be clear of your value system to be clear about what is important to you. Very important stuff. This is why you need to do some reflection on your context and things that have happened in your life and all that kind of stuff there to funnel down to understand how you make decisions. Otherwise, you're going to be lost. You're just going to be lost. So think about that stuff when thinking about how you move forward, especially when it comes to self-reflection. Next, we want to talk about the benefits of self-reflection. And really, that looks like, again, it's fantastic when it comes to boosting your self-awareness. For those of you who are aware of Daniel Goleman, he popularized the whole emotional intelligence model. And so you've got self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. And so really, self-reflection helps to boost the self-awareness part of things in order for you to have that self-management. So it gives you the data to understand how to move forward and be disciplined to make changes in your life. So it enhances your decision making because you're looking at that data to know what you want to do and what you don't want to do based on your preferences. And it facilitates deeper learning that turns successes and setbacks into valuable lessons. That's essentially what we're doing here. And so when you recognize this, it puts you in a situation where you are at an advantage. The next thing that we're looking at is practical ways to implement self-reflection. Okay. So what you can do, and this is what I like to do, is essentially use journaling to facilitate this. So I talk about my life navigation system, which you can get below. It's basically a Notion template that facilitates all of this stuff. But what it allows you to do is dedicate at least 5 minutes to answering those initial questions that I said before. Okay, so specifically, what went well, what didn't go well, and what do you want to do about it? That's essentially the questions that you're asking. So these are effective things that you can do. Other things you could do is talk to your friends and family members, okay? And they could give you some perspective. A good conversation is always a useful one. But one that some people may not be talking about or are talking about, I'm unaware, is talking to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it may be. Not quite Gemini, too optimistic for me. But talk to some sort of generative AI that helps you think about your questions. And what you may do is set the scene and say, hey ChatGPT, I want you to act like a experienced coach. Maybe you want to talk about a specific type of coach, maybe executive coach or life coach. And I want you to help me run through these questions that I have. And then you may use the chat feature, you may type it, it's totally up to you. But there are things you can do in order for you to, again, facilitate this self-reflection. Before we go any further, I'm going to ask the question: what's one area of your life where you feel reflection could help you make better decisions or find more clarity? Think about health, wealth, relationships, connection, joy, all of this different stuff. Make sure to comment below. And of course, if you would like support in your business or your career development as a senior leader, business leader, or consultant or contractor, then fill out the form below and let's get started and make your year a fantastic year. So, what tools do we have to enhance our self-reflection? Well, I've spoken about some of these tools already. Okay, so obviously AI is a fantastic tool that you can use, but you can also use things such as methodology. So I like to use the APPR method. Okay, so this is your annual personal appraisal, if you want to call it like that. Okay, it's a way for you to conduct annual reviews on yourself in order for you to understand how you're moving forward. Prayer works. So for those of you who are religious and prayer is part of your tools to communicate with God and or with self, it's a fantastic tool. Religiously pray. Sometimes we have to be a bit dogmatic with what we do rather than just free flowing and just, oh yeah, blah, blah. No, pray every day. Meditate every day if you need to. They're not the same thing, by the way. They may get similar results, but they're not the same thing. One is communicating intentionally and showing gratitude for their life or things in their life. And one may be focusing on the breath as an example, or being still so that you can recognize self. And that recognition of self keeps you calm and gives you a clear mind in order for you to understand how to make better decisions. And of course, journaling is a great way to do this as well in a more active way. If we keep it moving, I want to talk about overcoming barriers to reflection. And so really, sometimes it feels weird. Let's be real, okay? Like, reflection can feel like a thing that's a waste of time, but really it's the thing that is always kind of there. You're just kind of activating it in a way where it feels more proactive and more intentional, okay? You have to be able to face uncomfortable truths. Don't judge yourself. Just be in the seat of, I'm happy and I'm ready to be intentional about what it is that I'm doing. I'm happy to face the truth. I'm happy to be brutally honest, but also lovingly honest as well. Share your insights with people, okay? Because if you share your insights, then it holds you to accountability. And of course, we also need to make sure that we leverage our reflection for long-term growth. And really what this means is we review our reflections. I know we want to be authentic. I know we want to do all this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Great. But if we can review what we've reflected upon, then it's a reminder, isn't it? It's a reminder rather than like going round in circles and coming back to the same conclusion. If you have a way of just reflecting upon or reviewing what you've actually reflected upon in the past, there's a strength in that. Like, there's a competitive advantage in that. You know yourself more because you're in dialogue with self. You're in communion with self. So yes, you can do the accountability buddy thing and mastermind thing, but if you can grasp being in dialogue with self, that is the biggest win, I promise you. And if you want to, you can share those insights with other people as well. So these are the things that come to mind when it comes to leveraging self-reflection. Bonus tip. So the big bonus for today is gain clarity through self-reflection tools. And to be fair, I can't lie to you, I've pretty much covered that already. And so you need to be able to have, again, a clear understanding of your strengths. And I think sometimes we rely heavily on trying to do it ourselves, but there are some very smart people out there who have been able to develop some tools where you can assess yourself. So for example, I have something known as the Mastery Performance Indicator Assessment, which helps you understand where you're at in your life. It's an assessment of, I believe, 50 questions or 60 questions, I'm not sure. It takes about 5 minutes to do. Standard, 4 Likert or 5 Likert scale questions. And it gives you an edge of understanding what you need to do moving forward. If you're at a point where you don't understand, you don't know where to start, it pushes you on that journey. Of course, other examples may include things like 16 personalities or Myers-Briggs or the Ocean model / DISC. So there are different things, different tools you can use. Of course, there are a bit more mystical tools you can use as well, which, again, whether you agree with them or not, gives you a basis for saying, yes, I agree. No, I don't agree. So you know what to do moving forward. So use these, I guess, assessments, tests, personality tools to give you something to move forward with. And it gives you a bit of a focus when it comes to all of this stuff. So if we keep it moving and we summarize, self-reflection is the process of examining your thoughts and actions to gain insights and foster growth, but then move you forward and closer towards self-management, the discipline required in order for you to succeed in your endeavor. It boosts your ability to make better decisions and it allows you to learn from lessons. Again, it's advisable to spend at least 10 minutes a day reflecting and journaling. You can use voice noting to do this. Okay, it doesn't even have to take 10 minutes. It could take 5 for sure. And you can use different techniques such as the APPR method, which I talked about in a previous YouTube video, prayer and meditation and journaling in order for you to move forward. In addition, make it a habit. Remember, habits are routines. So something that you set intentionally based on a result that you want each day. You want to make sure these reflections are aligned to different goals that you have. And you also want to be able to identify anything that requires you to grow from your reflections, utilizing things like assessments and personality tests, etc., etc. Again, let's definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. Of course, I'm on YouTube, so subscribe. And of course, I'm on the TikToks and the Instagrams and all that kind of stuff. And if you want a competitive edge as a business leader in today's current climate, complete the form below. Of course, if you want to see more videos centered around leadership, portfolio careers such as consulting and contracting, and life management, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.